Hello, everybody. This is Baldo LaRussa with the SoldByBaldo team at Keller Williams Legendary. I'm lucky enough to be sitting here today with one of mortgage's biggest professionals, Nicholas Schmidtke. I call him Nick. I'm going to have a few questions for Nick today, and I'm excited to let everybody in on his world.
Well, I greatly appreciate the introduction, Baldo. Thank you so much, and it's my pleasure being here. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Nick. So one of the first questions I have for you, of course, you probably get this all the time, is it a good time to buy?
That's such a very loaded question, Baldo.
Absolutely.
I'm going to answer it very specifically. This is about you and your family. Are you comfortable and are you ready to buy a home? Are you tired of renting and you're ready to start building wealth for yourself? Start with a budget. Okay, if you're paying X amount of money in rent or whatever it may be, come in with a number. Figure out what you'd want your mortgage payment to stay within, and then go with a guide. Sit with the loan officer and understand your qualifications. Too many people get stuck in the rates are going up, the rates are going down, the value's going up, the value's going down. Is now a good time to buy? Truth of the matter is, it's only as good as when you're ready.
Absolutely.
So that's the one thing. Look inside yourself. Look at what you're doing. Look at your family. Are you ready to start building wealth for yourself and stop paying for someone else's home? And if your answer is yes, then sit down with somebody and understand what you can qualify for.
Of course, in your world and my world, one of the biggest things that everybody talks about is rates. What do you think will happen if rates actually start to come down?
So that's a very good question, Baldo. Rates do go up and go down, okay? Over the past year and a half or so, it depends upon where you read. There's a lot of different averages. Now, for us, Baldo, here, we're in New York. We're in New Jersey. We're in very densely populated areas. But as rates go down, I think the values of homes are going to skyrocket. And this is for New York and New Jersey specifically, okay? It's not for the middle of the country because right now we have a supply issue. We don't have enough land in New York to continue to build and build out. We keep building up, not out. So while we have a desire and a need and a want to have more homes, there's just not enough space. So in that case, supply is going to stay low, and as the rates drop, more people are going to come out of the woodworks to people that have been waiting for the lower rates, but what they're not realizing is that the values are going up just as fast.
Yeah.
So as rates are coming down, values are going up. Like when we were younger, seesaw, one side goes up, one goes down. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
So their buying power is more, but they're buying the same house that they could qualify for right now.
Yeah. So the buying power does, when rates come down, your buying power does increase.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem we're having right now, of course,
the values are going with it.
Are rates projected to go down? Is there something that, possibly we might be hearing or expecting or hoping for?
I think that a lot of it's hope, okay? Truth be told is we had a very high rate hit just in November a couple months ago, and rates have come down over 1.5 points. So rates have been coming down. Will they continue? It depends upon what our economy does. Over the past couple of years, the economy, inflation has been very high, and that's what has really stymied us. We needed to get the interest rates lower, higher, this, all over the place, more people unemployed, less people unemployed. So it's really something that you have to focus on what is today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed by anybody. I can predict all day long. I predict that the rates will be lower this year. A lot of economists are saying that the rates will be lower this year. But it's all predictions. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be focused on an interest rate.
Absolutely.
Okay? That's the most important piece. You should be focused on a monthly payment.
I agree.
Okay?
Absolutely.
That's it. Because if you're focused on interest rate, I can find you a cheaper interest rate loan, but it might have a higher monthly payment. So it's what you need for your home, what you need for your family, and what you want to do. And at the end of the day, if the rates go down, great. If the rates go up, hey, we were ready to buy a house and be in a home.
Absolutely.
But they are predicted to go down. I don't have that crystal ball, but this is the expectation that the rates will be coming down this year.
And I feel like we agree that if rates do come down, we still have the issue of inventory, and there is a possibility that pricing will go up. Again, you don't have a crystal ball, I don't have a crystal ball, but that's what the prediction would be for most in our fields.
That is 100%. Predictions, rates will come down, the values will go up, more people are going to get out there, but inventory is going to stay low. I want to give you something, and this is a piece of knowledge that you really need to grasp, and everyone could Google this. Did you know that right now, as of today, January 30th, on average, 61% of all homes that have a mortgage in America are below 4%.
Amazing.
That is 61%.
Amazing.
That means 39% of the houses people might be willing to sell. The rest of them are wondering, what do I do? I have a 3.75. I don't want to go to a 6.75. What do I do? Hopefully they have a good loan officer and showing them other options that may becoming an investor and owning another home. But that's the answer to your question.
And I honestly, and I think we both agree on this, the reason why there's such little inventory is because it's going to be difficult for somebody to sell a property at the peak of the market. Let's be honest, at a very high price, but to also buy and now trade in a 3.5% mortgage for a 6.5% mortgage.
They have the lock-in effect.
Yeah, so people feel like they're stuck in their home, and that's why I believe, and I think you do too, that inventory is low, and there's not going to be a huge shift in inventory. With that being said, do you feel like there's going to be a little more inventory coming out now as the spring season comes along after the winter months?
In general, coming at the end of February into March is generally the beginning of the buying season and selling season for real estate. Because most people sign contracts for 6 months, they want to move in by September, so they want to do that. So around February, March, yes, you'll see inventory tick up, but it's not going to tick up nearly as fast as the people that are looking to buy.
Yeah.
Because what we've seen, and if you don't mind me continuing on this question, is over the past years, we've seen people saying, I want to buy a house, but I don't want to pay that rate. I'm going to wait for rates to drop. Now, as the rates are dropping, it's like a highway. More people are getting on. So if right now is, let's say, 12 in the afternoon, 20% of people are traveling. You know, as 2 or 3 o'clock come around, more people are traveling on the road. They're getting on. So as the rates are coming down, you may have been on the road early, but now it's congestion. So as all these people keep coming, as the rates keep dropping, all it's doing is making more buyers. But our inventory isn't going up that fast because of those locked-in effect people that are below 4%. And even 23% of all people that have a mortgage right now are below 3%.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You know,
amazing.
It's insane. They did great. But, you know, they were happy as pigs in poop back a couple of years ago. But now they're like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. But there are other ways to actually be able to own that home and even possibly own other homes. You know, understand that there's equity in there. Understand that you could become a landlord. Understand these other items. And yes, you may pay up for this rate, but someone else is paying your mortgage on that side.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but again, New York, New Jersey, where we live and where we're predominantly doing our business, inventory should stay low.
Yeah.
Because we can't just make up more inventory. We can't just go build more houses.
Yeah. And, you know, I also suggest to some of my buyers that, you know, it's better to obtain the asset, the home, now. Even though rates are, you know, barely touching 7, they're at, what, 6.85, I believe?
Yeah, they're towing there today.
Roughly. It's better to lock in at that. And if rates do go down, there's always a chance to then call you again and refinance and bring that payment down. But the problem is, as the rates go lower and inventory stays low, like you said, that funnel effect, there's more people trying to get into that lane. So you said it perfectly.
You know, in an ideal world, yes, you're saying exactly. In the mortgage industry, we have something called marry the house, date the rate. Okay? So you marry the house, you fall in love with the neighborhood, you fall in love with the house, you fall in love with the community. The payment is not exactly where you want to be, but you qualify and you're able to, you know, cut out Starbucks maybe for the week or whatever it may be to cover the cost. And then in the future, if the rates continue to come down, if there's a benefit to you refinancing, at that point in time, you're saving money. Yeah. And you've already built your wealth.
Absolutely.
You know, you're not competing against everyone else right now. You know, I'm going to give you another piece of insight. And these are mathematical numbers I've played with over the last few months. Everyone's sitting there saying, I'm going to wait for rates to drop. Okay? I would ask them, what do you think is going to happen with your value of a home as the rates drop? And we've already established what I think and what you think. Values will go up. Now, this is real numbers. If you were to buy a home today and you bought it at $600,000, let's say, and you put down 20%. So $600,000, 20% you borrowed, now $480,000, $120,000 out of your pocket. If you were to go ahead and you were to take a 6.875 interest rate, anyone that has Google can run this math, 30-year term, your monthly mortgage payment would be approximately $3,153.
Okay.
But now let's pretend you waited, okay? I'm going to wait for those rates to go down a little bit lower. Okay, half a point is good for you? Sure.
Perfect.
Half a point, we're going to wait. But let's say that in New York, the values of homes increase over the next 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And they increase 5%. Okay, so the house that was $600,000 today, you got to buy for $630,000 in a couple months. But congratulations, Baldo, you were able to save yourself half a percentage point.
There you go.
So let's talk about this. You're buying the house at $630,000 now. You're putting down 20%. 20% of $630,000 is an extra $6,000 on top of what would have been $600,000. So that's $6,000 more out of your pocket.
Out of pocket. Yeah.
Out of pocket. But now you saved your interest rate of half a point. So instead of that 6.875 interest rate, you got yourself a 6.375. Congratulations, you saved a point, half a point. Did you know that the monthly mortgage payment on that purchase will be $9 cheaper
Amazing.
than what you would have bought today? But here's what you didn't pick up. You spent $6,000 more on your down payment.
Yeah.
So while, yes, your interest rate is lower, you're actually only saving $9 and spent $6,000 to do it.
Amazing. So, you know,
So it's like a seesaw again.
what that tells me, what really that tells me is sometimes we have to stop listening to everyone around us about what they paid for their rate, what they were, and they need to make the phone call to you and run the real numbers and see where you're comfortable. And really, I think that's the bottom line, because people hear, well, I'm going to wait until 5%. Now, what's the difference? What's happening? What's the breakdown? And this is why people need to talk to you, because when that rate does drop to 5%, I'm almost positive that the rates, the house prices are definitely going to skyrocket, and not because the seesaw method has actually made sense in the last few years, because since 2020, it's just been crazy. It's inventory. There is still no inventory, and we explained why there's no inventory. So my biggest, give on this meeting would be, instead of thinking you know what the numbers are, talk to Nick and find out what you're comfortable with, and then we can get you into a house. I think that is the bottom line on my end. I think this is where we can help more people if they just understood what their bottom line was.
I would agree with that 100%. I think that knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
I think too many people have an idea, or no, it's not the time, or heard this or heard that. You are an individual, Baldo. What works for you does not work for everyone else. So let's sit and have a conversation. Let's understand what your wants, your needs, your desires are. And at least you would know truly it's not the right time for me to buy a house. Or you know what? I need to do this, this, and this to prepare myself, maybe not this year, but for next year.
Absolutely.
What do I need to be prepared for? Because, at the end of the day, you don't just start a job without knowing what you're getting into. This is a 30-year commitment for some people. This is true. I've seen people debate their shoes longer than they debated buying a house. Oh, do I want these? Do I not want these? And the house is like, I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Like, let's focus, people. Let's figure out what you want.
I think at the end of the day, what I bring to the table for people that I work with on the buying side, the selling side, and I know for you, what you bring to the table is, we're here to give knowledge. We're here to help. We're here to guide. We're here to explain the situation. People aren't buying houses or taking mortgages every day, so it's not something they're used to, but this is something that we do. So if you do have questions, if you are curious, if you do want to prepare yourself for the future, you might not be ready today. You just might not be. But I'm here. You're here for us to actually help you be ready for the next step in again, home ownership. This is the goal. This is why I'm sitting here with you, to help other people realize it's attainable. We can make it happen for you, and this is what we're here to do. So I'm super excited, and I'm very grateful to sit with you. And I think that we're going to be able to help a lot of people.
I believe so too, and I'm going to add one last piece. We're professionals. We're not salespeople. Listen, everyone says you could be sold anything. You could be sold. You're buying a house. There's no selling you on this. If you don't want $1 million house or $500,000 house and you can't afford it, no salesman's going to convince you to go spend $500,000.
Absolutely not.
And no loan officer is selling you anything. We're giving you an opportunity. We're saying you're approved or you're not. This is what we need to do. This is what we need to fix. At the end of the day, you're deciding. We're just a portal.
We're
saying
here.
you're good, you qualify, you want that house, we can get you in that house.
Yeah, we're here to help you.
But you have to be the deciding factor. So, yeah, thank you, Baldo, for having me here. Thank you for sitting with your time, and I really appreciate it.
I'll tell you one thing, like you just said, and I love it, because we can't, I tell people, I can't convince you to buy this house. I can't convince my daughter to get me a glass of water. So I'm not here. You're not here. We're not here to convince. We're here to help you. We're here to guide you. And I feel like I'm blessed that I'm in the opportunity where I can help more people. And, thank you again for sitting with me. And this was great. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Baldo. Thanks for coming on in.